Did Damian Lillard give the best performance in a loss in sports history? If so, he is my idol. I too aspire to be the best loser on earth. Welcome to another episode of Odd Man Sports. I'm your host, Brandon Perna. I also host another show called That's Good Sports. And if Tokyo can't get their shit together, I'm worried they're gonna ask me to host the Summer Olympics. I don't have the space for it, Tokyo. Speaking of which, did you catch Olympian Simone Biles, who recently became the first gymnast to complete a Yurchenko double pike vault? Kudos to her. But I'm 99% sure that's a made-up thing. Like, I could do 9.5 somersaults, pop up and announce, I just completed the first ever Reifscheider forward front roll. Doesn't actually make it an accomplishment. On this week's Aaron Rodgers free episode, I'll delve into the latest on Ezekiel Elliott's dog, a revelation from Wayne Gretzky's daughter, as well as real, fake reasons the Knicks are a mess. We've got Dinks and we've got Dunks. Major League Baseball is facing a $100 million lawsuit for pulling out of the 2021 All-Star Game in Atlanta. Meanwhile, Atlanta rapper Future, who has fathered at least 6 children with 5 different women, has been recently hit with multiple paternity lawsuits, which just goes to show you in Georgia, whether you pull out or not, you're probably gonna get sued. Tiger Woods announced that his golf course design firm will be opening 7 family-friendly mini golf courses over the next year. The 18-hole courses have a realistic look with fairways and sand traps. And adding to the realism, if you cheat, a hot Swedish lady will chase you around with a 7-iron. Oakland A's pitcher Chris Bassett pitched a 2-hitter on Friday, followed by a press conference that included this unusual back and forth with a reporter.
Hey, you're groaning a lot right now. I've heard you groan a few times since you sat down. Is that, are you tired after that one?
No, I mean, I'm not trying to be weird, but gosh dang. Like, I'm just trying to hold back tears right now.
A quick multiple choice. Was Bassett groaning and crying because A, the A's post-game Mexican buffet wasn't sitting right? B, he saw how much Guy Fieri's Food Network deal was for? C, right off screen was a beer he couldn't wait to drink? Or D, after his successful outing, he was overcome with emotion, thinking of all the people in the A's organization who stood by him when he wasn't pitching well? Well, the answer is...
Sorry, I need a drink. I'm sorry.
No.
You're making me drink right now.
I didn't intend that.
Too late, lady. Your emotional line of questions drove the poor guy to drink. Every baseball reporter knows that you only ask Bassett about his sinker and maybe his 2-seamer, or else he completely falls off the wagon. Of course, the real story is Bassett got teary-eyed thinking of all the people who've helped him along the way. But I will forever imagine it was because he just couldn't wait to slug an ice-cold Bud Light. Colts and former Patriots kicker Adam Vinatieri announced his retirement last week, finishing a 24-year NFL career. He finished as the all-time leader in field goals made, and while many cited his kick in the tuck rule game through a driving snowstorm to advance to the Super Bowl, in my opinion, the most improbable kick of Vinatieri's career will always be this.
There's Adam Vinatieri. Now let's see what the objective is. Now let's take a look west and see where he's kicking, to the roof of the parking garage down there. All the way. Oh, now there's the guy that's going to try and catch the ball. Let's see. There he is, Donald Trump.
Gee, whatever happened to that guy? Great hands. Gonzaga forward Drew Timmy announced that after consulting with his family, he will be returning to Gonzaga for his junior season. Though I'm not sure we needed an announcement, considering the 6'10" All-American appeared in 0 mock drafts and received no interest from NBA teams. In a related note, I would like to announce that after consulting with my family, I've decided I will not be posing for Playboy. And speaking of Playboy, Paulina Gretzky, who is weirdly engaged to the pro athlete who looks the most like her father, went on a podcast this week and revealed she'd considered posing for the magazine back in 2013. Paulina ultimately decided against it after her then boyfriend golfer Dustin Johnson said he'd match the money offered by the magazine if she didn't appear naked. And if DJ is handing out cash to people he doesn't want to see in Playboy, I'd like to make an announcement. After consulting with my family, I have decided I will be posing for Playboy next month. Full frontal. These jokes probably would work better if Playboy was still a thing. On next week's show, why betting Logan Paul at minus 1600 is like forgetting to rewind your VHS tapes. In football news, the Dallas Cowboys announced they're hiring former Giants head coach Ben McAdoo in what they're calling a consulting role. And while I don't know what kind of consulting he's doing, I'm hearing McAdoo has apparently already had a big effect on the team. Looking good, Jarrett. Speaking of the Cowboys, it's been a tumultuous week for one of the team's most notable players.
An investigation that is now underway in Frisco, where police were called after a dog attack involving one of Ezekiel Elliott's Rottweilers.
First, it was Joe Biden's dogs biting people in the White House. Now this. Why can't rich people afford proper trainers for their dogs? Thanks to the miracle of doorbell cameras, though, there's actually footage of one of the victims shortly after the Rottweiler attack.
Help me, I got bit by a dog.
Oh my God.
I'm on 911 right now.
Come on.
And I know that looks bad, but what makes it even worse? Ezekiel Elliott is coming off a career low in rushing yards and yards per attempt. The fact of the matter is, if Zeke was still averaging 5.5 yards per carry, I'm pretty sure most Cowboy fans would be like, "Oh man, you see Zeke's dog gash that lady like Emmitt Smith going through the Bills secondary in 1993 Super Bowl? Yeah! Dogga, yeah!" And since this isn't the dog's first biting incident, the dog is apparently in danger of being put down. But the saddest part of this story is thinking about all of Zeke's young fans who he's let down. Thankfully, next season, they'll still be able to root for Dak Prescott.
You may remember it was a couple of years ago when 2 of Dak Prescott's dogs got loose in Frisco. One of them bit off part of a woman's finger.
Are you kidding me? Dak's dog flies private too? Money, please. Wayne Gretzky announced he will join TNT as a studio analyst next season, begging the question, why? According to the internet, Gretzky's current net worth is $250 million. As for how accurate that number is, I can't say for sure, considering the internet also says my net worth is $7 million. If this is true, I'm desperately in need of a divorce lawyer, and preferably one who specializes in retroactive prenups. When your nickname is the Great One, there's only one way to go, and that's down. Sitting in a cold studio, drinking paper cup Keurig coffee in between breaking down the Ducks' power play it's frankly beneath Gretzky. And if history suggests, we'll soon stop thinking of Gretzky as the greatest player who ever laced up a pair of skates. And in no time, he'll be another dopey analyst who can't pronounce foreign players' names and is vague on which Baltic countries they're from. How do I know this? Because it just happened one studio over on Inside the NBA. Shaq retired as one of the most colorful and dominant players in the history of the sport. And after a decade on TNT, to most young people, he's known as a monotone giant with lazy, outdated basketball insights whose main purpose in life appears to be reminding Charles Barkley that he's fat and never won a ring. Last week, while interviewing Derrick Rose, Shaq referred to his teammate Julius Randle like this.
As a veteran, what do you say to Julius Randle to calm him down, to get him back going again?
Though, to be fair to Shaq, there's a decent chance Julius Randle's much shittier twin brother Julian has been playing for the Knicks this playoffs. On a recent show after the Super Bowl, Shaq admitted he didn't know who Bruce Arians was. Which is fine, I guess. The NFL, that's not his job. More problematic is that he probably doesn't know who Bruce Brown is. Shaq's two most memorable recent moments on the show were the time he got tangled up in wires and took a dive.
Oh, analytical last week.
Look at this. Oh, my gosh. Oh, what are you doing?
And the time he did whatever this was towards Candace Parker. The forever image I wanted of Shaq was not this. No, but of him posted up on the block. And the same for Wayne Gretzky, forever poised behind the opposing goalie's net. Reaching the pinnacle of your sport means never working another day in your life. Forever coasting off your past greatness. So Wayne, if you really want to lower yourself for money, here's an idea. Just join Cameo. It's actually less embarrassing. If you do flame out behind the desk, the only way to save your reputation is to do it like Paul Pierce. Odd man out. It was not a good week for fan behavior in the NBA, with multiple high-profile incidents, including a fan throwing a water bottle at Kyrie Irving after he stomped on the Celtics leprechaun logo. Kyrie's teammate, Kevin Durant's message to the fans: "We're not in a circus." Though to be fair, Kyrie does wear big floppy shoes and incorporated a little person into his act. Recently, it's not just players under attack. We've also had multiple incidents of fan-on-fan violence, including this Padres guy who treated a Rockies fan like he was Miles Teller trying to worm out of an unpaid wedding tab. So why all of the hate? Especially considering we're in the golden age of fandom right now. In about half the states, you can go to a game and bet on any play without leaving your seat while drinking a frosty beer out of a baseball bat. How great is that? And due to limited capacities, baseball fans now have like a 20% chance of catching a foul ball. And due to Rob Manfred, like a 20% chance of witnessing a no-hitter. So next time you're thinking of launching a D-battery on the court or punching out your fellow fan, I want you to remember one thing. This image of a Pittsburgh Pirates fan calmly taking in a recent home game against the Cubs. The sun is out, and based on the photo, so too might be his Johnson. And as for the final message to fans on this subject, I will leave it to KD.
Grow the fuck up and enjoy the game.
Well said, KD. All right, that is the show today. Join me next week for a full report on my quest to give my wiener a suntan at Coors Field, where I'll use my $7 million of net worth to post my own bail.